Welcome back to the Culture Shock. In Proverbs 1 verse 7, it says, "Fools despise wisdom and discipline." Okay, today we're gonna learn on getting wiser so that we can have a disciplined future. But in this scripture, it says, "Fools despise wisdom and discipline." When I was younger, I was a fool going by this scripture. I didn't like to be receive discipline from my parents. I would always argue with them, and I would get disciplined. If I didn't get disciplined, I probably wouldn't be the man I am today. Where I'm from, there's a lot of people who are in and out of jail. Maybe that's across the nation, but these are people who are not receiving wisdom, and they despise discipline because they're constantly in and out of jail. So, but the sad part is, in this modern time, people are not going to jail for a long time. They're released next day. So they're not getting disciplined. They're just barely getting a slap on the wrist. But we have to get discipline, get wisdom. They go hand in hand. Maybe your parents are talking to you. Maybe you should just listen and receive wisdom. Maybe they're training you so you can have a successful future. That's what the next couple of verses say after this. It's pretty much they're trying to train you up so that you can receive wisdom and get the treasures that come along with that. But this was in the Old Testament, so they had actual treasures. But in modern time, nowadays, you can buy a home. Maybe your parents have financial wisdom. Maybe they have a great work history. Maybe your mom is single, but she's raising you and she's trying to impart knowledge in you that can last long after she's gone. Maybe you have a single father who is trying, he may seem harsh. A lot of dads seem harsh. That's what I thought of my dad, but when I learned later on, he was just trying to look out for my future so I wouldn't have to be depending on him in the future. That's why some of these older generations still live with their parents, because they did not receive wisdom, and probably they did not receive discipline. Maybe the parents were trying to go soft on them, thinking that it's going to help. But being soft on people these days is never the answer. You got to discipline them. I think I'm old school. I got discipline with a belt or whatever my dad could find. Fly swatter, the wire kind. But he did that because he loved me. The more I grew up, the more pain I was able to tolerate. So he had to use something a little bit harsher. But he loved me. That's the one thing I'm getting at. When you discipline your child, then you love them. You love them forever because you don't want them to go to jail, be in and out of jail, and probably not failing as much, where they're back on your couch sleeping or their old bedroom. But when you impart wisdom, they should be listening. But when you discipline them and you give them wisdom, then they are better to receive that wisdom at that time because they know you love them and they'll listen to you. I think that's why I listen to my dad a little bit more, because he was the one kind of like dishing out the discipline and he would give me the wisdom. My mom would be lenient sometimes, but when I was a pain, she could discipline me harshly. But did she want to do it? No. But she loved me, but she didn't want me to be in and out of jail. Here's a little story. I got busted shoplifting. And if my parents didn't discipline me back in the day, then I would probably still be shoplifting or doing other stuff. I did smoke some green stuff when I was 18, 19. But I didn't want to constantly be in and out of jail because I knew where that led at that time when it was illegal in probably most of the country. And I drank at that time, which was illegal at my age because I was only 18 or 19. But the discipline my parents gave me made me think about it. Like, do I want to end up like people around me? And the answer was no. You see, when we receive discipline from our parents, our grandparents, our mentors, whoever is speaking to us out of love, then we should receive discipline. I know there are young people watching my videos in their teens and a bit older. If your parents discipline you, it means they love you and they want you to have a successful future. But in this modern time, most parents do not want to discipline their kids because I don't know why. I mean, it's a soft generation, but if I had little ones growing up, I would discipline them. My ex-girlfriend's kids, I had to discipline her son at one point. And I'm hoping that he has a successful future as he gets older and older. But when we have discipline and wisdom together, it is more powerful. So, if you're a parent, you are saving your child from destruction by imparting wisdom. Don't just think they'll pick it up. Just because you're doing good, they might. But maybe if you're paying bills, you can tell them why you're paying bills. Give them that wisdom on why you're paying bills, why you're paying your cell phone, why you're doing this, why you're not just spending all your money on fun, and why you're doing grocery shopping instead of just having fun, why you're budgeting. When you do that, your kids are going to get some information. It might not be relevant then, but it's going to help them in the future. Whatever your discipline is, then keep on doing it because it's going to help them in the future. Don't just send them to their room where they have games and everything. That's not discipline. Maybe take away electronics. Who knows? I don't know what the punishment are these days. But I want you guys to keep on disciplining them, no matter what it is. Like I said, I was old school. I was raised old school. So I got the whipping as I deserved. And today, without those, I don't think I would be the man I am. I'm a Bible-believing Christian, which I was never really raised to be a Christian. And I don't do drugs. I don't party. I'm pretty much just a guy who likes to pay his bills and do what he's supposed to because my parents raised me that there's consequences if I break the law. break rules. And that's what wisdom and discipline are. You're keeping your kids away from all the stuff out there in the world, from being arrested. I have relatives, family members that get arrested. People around me, people in my town, they're constantly getting arrested. And it's a whole life circle because they weren't raised like I was. They didn't get the discipline. I don't know if their parents talked to them out of love, out of concern, or they just said that's just the way they are. Maybe they'll learn someday. That's probably what they got. My parents chewed me out when I made a mistake. They imparted wisdom and they disciplined me. Sometimes when my dad raises his voice, I can feel that pain. And I'm like, okay, yes, Dad. So that's the fear of loving your parents. You know that they still love you, but they'll still get after you. And I'm thankful for parents like that. There should be more parents like that, imparting wisdom and discipline. Maybe the world would be in a better place today. So kids, if your parents impart wisdom, don't talk, just listen. We don't need your opinions at that point. We don't need any of your words at that point. Just listen. Even if you're a little older in your 20s and 30s, your parents do not need your opinions, your thoughts. But what they need you to do is listen. And if there's some discipline, then just take it and go on with life. It's going to help you in the future. I promise you. So that's all I want to say today, guys. I hope this video helps. Whether you're a parent, whether you're a child. And when I say child, it just means someone younger than me. I'm 38 years old. But I want you guys to all learn and keep on doing better than you were yesterday. This is the Culture Shock. And everybody stay awesome and keep on learning and keep on growing.